Come in, please. Come in. Good evening. Please come. Take your seat. Thank you. Shivang Rastogi. What is the meaning of the term Shivang?
So Shivang signifies the part of Lord Shiva's body.
What does it signify?
So it signifies as an important role one has in the life of Lord Shiva.
Why Lord Shiva is known in the universe?
Lord Shiva is known as a destructor of the world. So it's the important qualities of Lord Shiva include he destroys the Maya or the illusion from someone's eyes. So that's the importance of Lord Shiva.
Is he only known as destructor, or he is also known as he took the wish himself in order to protect his colleagues and his men?
Yes, sir. He is also known as Bholenath. That means he is very simple person, simple god who take the poison for himself, so that the world can be free from the evils. So in that sense, he is known as Neelkant also.
So what qualities you are having as the name suggests, Shivang?
Sir, I think I am inculcating some qualities of Lord Shiva. That includes I want to serve to the people. So that is the empathy that Lord Shiva has, which I think I also.
So you belong to the town Sambhal, the city Sambhal. What is Sambhal? Tell me something about Sambhal.
Sir, Sambhal is located around 150 kilometers from Delhi, and historically it's been the capital of Prithviraj Chauhan, as the mythological stories or the folk tales said. And it's been in the medieval history period, it's been the important city of Mughals and Delhi Sultanate. And right now, Sambhal is famous for horn bone industry, handicraft items of that, and menthol oil industry. These things are quite famous.
So, as you said, it was one of the capital or initial capital of Prithviraj.
Sir, in the folk tales, it is one of the capital of Prithviraj.
But historically, what are the capital of the Prithviraj?
Historically, it's been Delhi, sir. Delhi.
Delhi or Ajmer?
As far as I know, sir, it's Delhi.
So, what is the use of menthol?
Menthol is used in various cosmetic industries, and as well as it has a lot of medicinal properties. So, in medicinal purpose, cosmetic purpose, and some other uses are also there.
In what particular medicine it is used?
So, for cough-related medicine.
Your father belongs to Uttar Pradesh.
Yes.
Currently, why Uttar Pradesh is in news for last 1 month? What are the major headlines?
Sir, Uttar Pradesh is organizing one of the biggest investor summit, which is going to be held in the month of Feb. So, our CM is inviting a lot of investors. That is why UP is in news. It's the primary reason, sir.
The investors meet. What is the outcome of the summit?
So, a lot of MOUs has been signed by various investors and private individuals. So they commit certain amount of investment in different industries, be it electronic industries, tourism, or infrastructure. So that's the.
So what is MOU?
Sir, memorandum of understanding.
What is the legality of MOU?
Sir, it shows the expression of interest by investor that they are willing to commit on certain conditions.
So previously also there might be some summits, they might be organized. So what is the final outcome of those MOUs and actually the investment fell with the
Sir, when the last summit had, so around we have capitalized around 60 to 80% of the investment that has been signed under the MOU. It has not been the complete,
but okay, but even then it's good. Uttar Pradesh is also known for the bulldozer policy adopted by the current government. So, what is your opinion on this?
Sir, bulldozer has been used to vacate the public lands and to evade the land which has been illegally occupied. However, sir, recently it has been increasingly used uh, for against the criminals or against the accused who have certain criminal case pending. So that is why it's been used.
What is the current scenario of law and order in Uttar Pradesh?
Sir, my opinion, UP has done a commendable job in terms of increasing the law and order situation. We have the highest absolute number of crime rate. However, sir, if we look at the per capita crime in UP, it's around very less as compared to other states. And we have followed the zero tolerance policy against the crimes. And in women crime, we have also increased the pink booth and pink scooties against in order to manage the money.
UP is also in use for the encounters. It is one of the principal encounter state. What do you think?
Sir, encounter has been used if police are in direct confrontation with the criminals. So, because of the zero tolerance policy that has been adopted by the government, and though UP has a lot of criminal incidents, so there has been increase in the amount of encounters that we have seen.
So, your mother belongs to Muradabad. So, what is the specialty of Muradabad?
Sir, in industrial terms, Muradabad is quite famous for brass making industry. And as far as cuisine is concerned, sir, Muradabad is famous for Muradabadi dal and Muradabadi biryani.
Why it is so special, Muradabadi dal?
Sir, Muradabadi dal is a breakfast item for people of Muradabad and Chambal. So it is it can be light breakfast as well as very nutritious breakfast.
Second thing is Muradabadi
biryani, sir.
Why it's so special?
Muradabadi biryani traces origin from Avdi cuisines. So it's the spices that we have used in Muradabadi biryani is quite
what is so special about the Awadh cuisine?
Sir, Awadh cuisine is mainly done on tawa, and the taste is quite.
The biryani and the taste of tawa?
No, sir, biryani is not.
Or handi?
Handi, sir. Sir, the other cuisines of ours, sir, the kebabs and all. So that is why it is quite famous. Spices and all.
Where is the genesis of the dum system for cooking?
Dum biryani and dum aloo.
The place you mentioned.
Okay.
Tell me your journey since 2018.
Sir, since 2018, I have also pursued my post-graduation from Indira Gandhi National Open University, and I am studying for UPSC also. I have given 4 attempts. I have reached till the stage of mains in 3 attempts. So this will be my first interview. It's quite a up and down journey, sir. But it was a learning journey.
Okay. How you will apply your knowledge of financial management and administration?
Sir, the situation of administration can be understood in terms of finance, the revenue part and the expenditure which the government involves. So the prudence and the conservatism is very important. So these things can be applied directly in the revenue administration. Apart from that, the management of risk, which is there in the administration, it can be in the revenue part or other domains. So this can also be applied.
What is organization behavior?
Sir, organization behavior involves understanding, describing, and controlling the behavior of the people in order to manage them, in order to use the people's behavior in the way organization wants to achieve its objective. So, it's a study of that.
What is the acceptance theory in behavior?
I'm not sure.
But have you heard about it?
I've heard, sir, but I've not thought about this.
No. So does behaviorism consist only social dimensions or social psychological dimensions?
So both, sir, social and social side.
And does it follow the economic dimensions also?
So yes.
So how often are you involved in blogging?
Sir, I try to involve once a week, or sometimes I do twice a week. But if, sir, I have pre-engagements with other studies and all, so sometimes I do it bi-monthly.
So how often you do go for jogging?
Sir, twice or thrice a week I go to jogging, sir.
So whenever you go to jogging, you try for blogging also.
Yes, sir, I tried, but if I am not, it's not a convenient time for blogging, so I refrain from that.
What dimensions playing table tennis adds in the personality?
So table tennis help us to understand the strategic dimension and analytical approach. So in table tennis we understand how to strategize the small things. So it makes a person very analytical. As far as other things are concerned, sir, sportsmanship is involved in table tennis, and the team spirit, which a dual player learns.
Quick action,
Coordination,
high coordination,
yes.
Number of things. So you love to quote the movie dialogues.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me some of the dialogues of the famous actor Rajkumar?
No, sir, I'm not.
So what kind of dialogue you?
The contemporary movie dialogues of Bollywood I used to write in my diary. Like there's a dialogue of Om Shanti Om movie. So dialogue was like, कहते हैं अगर किसी चीज को सारी शिद्दत से चाहो तो सारी कायनात तुम्हें उनसे मिलाने की साजिश में लग जाए. Yes.
Please repeat again.
कहते हैं अगर किसी चीज को सारी शिद्दत से चाहो तो सारी कायनात उसे तुमसे मिलाने की साजिश में लग जाए.
पूरी शिद्दत से चाहो क्या? तो सारी कायनात उसे तुमसे मिलाने
की साजिश में लग
जाए. And other dialogues?
So there is a dialogue of movie Rang De Basanti. So it goes like this. जिंदगी जीने के दो तरीके होते हैं, या तो जो हो रहा है उसको होने दो, या तो दूसरा तरीका यह है कि जो हो रहा है उसको समझो और उसको बदलने की कोशिश करो. So it tells कि we should not be status oriented and we should drive the change.
Why there are movies based on UP which are more based on gangster movies? It's more very basic and more gangster oriented thing. So don't you think it something like it tarnishes the image of the UP?
I think, sir, the movie of the director you are talking about, they are more for entertainment purpose. Though indirectly they have tarnished the image of UP because the reality is quite different what is reflected in the cinema. But somehow they are being based on the realities of the society. But situation has been changed now. Sir. They were the reflection of late 90s.
So in your hobby it is mentioned that legislative research, internship discussion paper, right?
Yes.
So what is legislative research? What kind of legislative research?
Sir, I did research on certain bills which are pending before the parliament. It was done in 2016 and 17, sir, during my college days. So I interned within the parliament. I did some research.
So when the bill is sent to the select committee?
Sir, when the parliament decides, either by voice vote or just by consensus, or sometimes voting can also be held, so it is sent to the select committee.
So what can be the intentions of sending a bill to the select committee?
So there are various motives behind it. It will help the bill for a further detailed discussion, and sir, expertise of members can be utilized, and some external experts can also be came into play. And sir, intra-party and inter-party consensus can also be driven if we have well-reflected committee.
What about the women reservations bill? Still,
it is not, unfortunately, it's not.
Again, it was viewed by the select committee. What would be the intention?
So I'm not sure about the status of that bill, but sir, political consensus has not been made. There should be reservation of 33%.
So do you think then sometimes the government wants to intend that it wants to show that it wants to pass a bill, but actually it may not be willing to pass the bill? In that case, also it can be also referred to the select committee.
Yes, sir. Sometimes it happens. I would say that if government wants to pass a bill, but it is not the correct time, looking at the certain condition in the situations prevailing. So, for further discussion and in order to evolve the conditions, so bill has been sent to the second.
Do you think the Rajya Sabha has only the delaying power? It should play a better role than what it's currently playing.
I think, sir, Rajya Sabha, the upper house is playing its role very well. However, more detailed discussions can be happening. A lot of adjournments are there, and the functioning of Rajya Sabha is not up to the mark as it should be. But the house is doing wonderful, we would say. There are a lot of intellectual debates, discussions, good parliamentarians are there, so it is leveraging the benefit of that.
Can you compare the fabric of Rajya Sabha, that is upper house at the center and the upper house in the state?
Yes, sir. Sir, upper house of state is not uniform throughout the country. Only few states have the upper house, and the prerogative of upper house in the state is very less with respect to Rajya Sabha. They just have the power of delaying the bill for 3 months in one part and 1 month additional. So, but Rajya Sabha has the power to do it. So this is the difference, sir.
My question is about the fabric, right? About the how Rajya Sabha is different from the upper house of the state.
Sir, I'm not sure about the fabric.
Fabric means in constitution wise how they are different. Like which is more homogeneous, which is more heterogeneous, like that.
Okay, sir. So Rajya Sabha represents the council of the state, so it has a representation widely across a lot of states. However, sir, the legislative council have representation 1/3 from the MLAs and from the local elected leaders, and some are also nominated by the governors. So that is, and the constitutionally, sir, Rajya Sabha can be abolished, but legislative council can be abolished. However, Rajya Sabha is a permanent house.
So the upper house has a more heterogeneous kind of fabric. Different sections are represented in the upper house of the state.
Yes, sir.
So, in your zonal choice, you basically belong to Rajasthan. Your backgrounds are from UP and Rajasthan, right?
Yes, sir. I belong from Uttar Pradesh, sir.
You belong from
UP. Sir.
UP. So, but in your order of preference, you zonal wise, UP, you are given second preference, right? Is that?
Yes, sir. UP is my home state, sir, and I have put UP as my first preference.
Achha. You put here. UP is a UP. Right. Okay. Okay, right. Right. And second preference, you have put Rajasthan as first because you are one of your mother belongs to Rajasthan, right?
No, sir, no. My entire family belongs from UP.
Achha, your entire family belongs to UP. Okay. So, in your order of preference, on second place, That is zone 1. Why you put Rajasthan at number 1 place? There are other states like AGMU2, there is Haryana and all Uttarakhand. Why Rajasthan first choice?
Sir, I think Rajasthan is a big state. It is in fact the largest state of country in terms of geographical area. So there will be a lot of opportunities to work in Rajasthan. Secondly, sir, the social cultural dimensions of Rajasthan is quite similar to that of UP, sir. So that is why I think Rajasthan is a good option for this.
So, what is police commissioner system?
Sir, under police commissioner system, a commissioner of police is appointed, and the commissioner has the power to impose, have the direct power of arrest and direct power of putting section 144 of CRPC. So he having more power and accountability of managing the entire law and order.
So in UP, do you have a police commissioner system in certain cities?
Yes, sir. Where? So there are 7 cities where in the UP where we have commissioner systems. So it includes Lucknow, recently Ghaziabad, and Agra, Kanpur.
So how it helps in maintaining better law and order? As there in big cities, there is a growing police commissioner system.
Sir, the coordination issues which a police and the district administrator have. So these coordination issues will be resolved. In police having the direct accountability and faster action taking power. So that would be the effectiveness of these.
Tell me the turning points of Indian history, say from 1920 to 1947. Just any 5 major turning points.
Sir, I would say the first turning point would be the non-cooperation movement and the involvement of masses by Gandhiji. Secondly, sir, the ideological influence of Bhagat Singh and the revolutionaries. That is a very important point which have influenced our history. And thirdly, I would say the 1931, sir, the civil disobedience movement of Gandhiji. And sir, lastly, the Second World War and the impact it has. So it has very lot of commissions came on constitutional reforms. So that is one thing. And sir, the role of INA in a national movement, that is quite significant. So fifth would be this. And sir, lastly we got independence.
So what is the new tactics adopted in the civil disobedience movement?
Sir, by using salt, which is the mass consumption item which is used across all the people of the country. That is something which brings all the political factions and all the people of the country on one ground. That is one thing, sir. And simply not obeying and following the laws which are made by the Britishers. And they are being called as inhumane taxes. So that is one thing which brought our national movement to the international stage also. So these are the 2 things which are very distinguished.
And what is the new ways brought by the 1942 Quit India movement?
So in the Quit India movement, Gandhiji gave a call of do and die. So certainly there is a lot of anger amongst the people. So the organizational strength of the Congress has been shown from that movement, and the lot of awareness among the masses itself. So masses are not willing for just constitutional reforms. They just want complete independence. So that is something which is shown on the streets of India. So that is a quite distinguishing feature of India.
And what is the significance of INA in the history as you mentioned?
Sir, INA gave a ground for the youngsters and the revolutionaries and certain youth to do a military campaign against the British. So it called for self-sacrifice. The power of self-sacrifice can be channelized through the medium of INA. That's been the remarkable.
Split of patriotism,
Yes, sir.
the spark of patriotism, of the biblical strength, why is it will not match the other things, but it charge the Indian youth is it's really great. Mr. Shivam, how you think when India will enter in the club of the $5 trillion economy, and what 5 steps are taken in that direction by the government?
So because of the COVID-19 situation, we have been delayed our target of getting $5 billion economy by 2025. So perhaps I am quite optimistic, sir, that by the 26 or 27 we will be able to achieve that target. And sir, 5 steps would be, sir, we need to increase our capital expenditure in the form of infrastructure development. So our government has launched PM Gati Shakti program in that direction. Secondly, sir, I believe we have to focus on educational reforms, which new education policy talks about. So we need to inculcate greater skill development courses and be ready for the new challenges of industrial revolution 4.0. And thirdly, sir, $5 trillion economy. In order to become $5 trillion economy, we have to focus. We don't have to neglect the power of MSMEs. So that is very crucial because they are providing regional equality and employment to a lot of masses from the rural India or the urban India. Fourthly, sir, we have to focus on agrarian sector also. So agrarian sector, though it would be around 20% contribution to the GDP. Despite that, sir, the quantum of people employing in the agrarian sector is quite huge. So we have to take this thing along. So these are the things we have to do.
And what India is doing to promote skill in India. That is also important.
Yes, sir. Sir, government have launched Skill India program, and sir, we have also working in the form of vocational education courses, which new education policy talks about. And sir, PM Kaushal Yojana is also in the rural areas. So these are the schemes we have put in, and we have creating more awareness among the youth. That rote learning would not be the solution. We have to be skill oriented. We have to be vocationally approach should be there. So you will get good jobs. And
what is the role? What can be the role of innovation in this regard?
So I believe innovation is one thing which can be a distinguishing factor because innovation can create a lot of disruptive technologies that may help us to get the quantum leap in the form of GDP and in the form of new technologies.
What is the difference between innovation and research?
Sir, innovation is application of the certain ideas that we have into the practical utility, making products and processes or the services through these ideas. And research is something to be prospecting of a new idea or of a new process. So research is the primary stage, and innovation is the innovation built on the foundation of research.
What is the current status of Make in India?
So currently, Make in India provides. It has significantly reduced the logistics cost. So we have reduced logistic cost from 16% to 13%. And sir, new technologies that Make in India talks about, we have also worked on in that direction. However, sir, the prospect of jobs the Make in India talks about is far less. It is not able to create the impact in terms of jobs. Despite that, we are optimistic side. We have to bring certain reforms.
In agrarian sector, do you think the rich farmer should be taxed now?
I don't think, sir, that would be a economic prudent decision to tax rich farmers. Rather, we can create a differential subsidy mechanism where poor farmer will be getting the subsidies and rich farmer could be excluded. That would be the administrative efficient and economic prudent decisions.
What is the subsidy?
Subsidy is the incentive in terms of money or in kind which is being provided by the government to the certain sections, let's say farmers or vulnerable people.
Say the cost price of, say, a bag of urea is rupees 50, for example, and the market price is 100. And government says the farmers, we are giving you a subsidy of 10%. So at what price it will be available to the farmer?
So it will be available to the farmer at rupees 90, if I'm not wrong, sir.
What is the name? What is the concept of subsidy in United States? Like what name it knows? What alternative names it is known in United States?
Sir,
You must have heard about green box and all that.
sir?
Green box, brown box.
Yes, sir. UN WTO subsidies.
Yeah, United States.
So yes.
If I ask you, okay, how you see India 5 years from now?
Five years from now, sir, India will be a very economically progressive country where we, in my opinion, we have achieved a $5 trillion target. We have a spurt in the per capita income. And sir, I believe, sir, the impact of new education policy and the health policy we have would result in good human development index, and the human development would be high. I would see a very good contender of UN Security Council seat that India will be having. So I will see India having a good stature at the world level. Apart from it, sir, I will see a politically very resilient and democratic India 5 years down the line.
In history, why Akbar is known as great?
Sir, the policies or the administration a ruler have makes it great. So the secular policies which Akbar has adopted, historians called it great because the policy of Sul Equal and the Diwan-e-Aam and Diwan-e-Khas, so discussion approach and the secular tendencies which has been adopted by the Akbar is commendable by a lot of historians. And secondly, sir, the administrative policies and the political approach of Akbar is something which historians regarded as a very good step because he has consolidated a lot of fragmented region of India. And sir, the certain evil practice also been under control during the regime of Akbar. So,
what was so special about his revenue policy?
Yes, sir. Sir, revenue policy has largely been influenced by the total mal policy. So, the assessment or the Dehela system, which 10-year assessment of crops, which was there. So on that basis, a revenue or the lagan is being fixed from the farmer. So, assessment-based policy is being adopted by Akbar.
What is so special about Aine Deshala?
Sir?
What is so special about Aine Deshala? You mentioned 10 years. Aine Deshala. So, what is so special about that?
Sir, I'm not very thorough with the Aine Deshala, but I think it's a 10-year assessment of the crops. So, on the basis of the productivity and the production, its assessment is being made.
You used the expression secular. So, do you think there is a borderline between secularism and pseudo-secularism?
Yes, sir.
Can you explain?
Sir, secularism means having the secular tendencies in your approach and in your thought process also, and it is reflected in the actions. While pseudo-secularism sometimes means appeasement politics and the hypocrisy. On one line, someone is having the liberal principles. On the other hand, someone is having a non-liberal or the non-progressive principle. So that makes someone the hypocritic person. That is why people have a distinction between pseudo-secular and secular.
Currently, there was a song of the movie Pathan, and there were a lot of appeals of the movie Pathan.
Yes, sir.
But whosoever has watched that movie, they are saying it has a full patriotism and nationalism. So, what do you think? Just on the basis of the color, there is a surge of people's sentiment in the name of Hinduism. So, should it be properly studied and it should be rationalized?
The sentiments.
Like before understanding what is actually in the movie, the politicians, the chief ministers, they came up and they made an appeal to almost boycott the movie. They challenged the director and the actor, but actually in movie there was a lot of nationalistic content. So there must be some kind of study and there must be some kind of check in such growing tendencies in our country.
I think, sir, people need to be more aware and more tolerant in their approach. They are more being on the reactive side and very impulsive when they are seeing certain songs of movie or certain provocative items. So we need to, as a civilization, as a country, we need to be more mature, sir. So that is the need.
After proper study, after analysis only, there will be the opinion of the political party on that aspect. Otherwise, it polarizes the society.
Yes.
A few months back, there was a movie, Kashmir Files. Do you think such movie polarize our society? Or do you think it is justified? It comes under freedom of expression.
I would say that movies like Kashmir Files also comes under freedom of expression. And first of all, we have to understand that, sir, these movies have been passed by the Central Board of Film Certification. And so, if they have provocative content or they are polarizing something, so they must have been censored by these bodies. So, I don't think, sir, they have the artistic freedom of providing the content, and people have the liberty to watch it or not. So, in a mature democracy, sir, we have to live with these things.
What is a mature democracy?
So, a mature democracy is something which follows the basic tenets of democracy, that is tolerance, fraternity, respecting each other's views, and having a very discussion and deliberative society. It should not be very impulsive, very aggressive society, I would say.
So there is a news key in this year, the growth GDP, the growth rate of the GDP of India is 8%. So what does actually it signify?
8% growth signifies that we are on the path of progress despite the global headwinds and the recessioning tendency that we have been seeing around the world. So, despite that, we are working on a right path. We have been bounced back from the pandemic situation. However, sir, we have to look all these things with certain cautions because there are certain challenges in the Indian economy also. So we have to be cautious about it.
How this 8% is calculated?
Sir, 8% GDP is calculated from the base year. So if we look at the previous year's data of GDP and the current year's GDP projections, so the difference between them is around 8%. That's how the growth is 8%. We have determined.
If one of your brother he goes in United States and he does a lot of manufacturing there, so in whose GDP that cost will be that product will be used, that product will be added. Remember, your friend is working in United States.
So that will be counted in the gross domestic product of United States.
Will it be counted in India in any other indicator?
It will be counted if he is transmitting some remittances or the profit that he is earning in the national income of India. Sir.
What of mention any three qualities you would like to improve?
Sir, I would like to work on the artistic expressions of mine. And sir, I will work on the creative aspects of my personality. Because I think I'm not very good in songs and dancing sort of stuff. And I will also like to work on my communication skills.
That should be taken. And finally, why you should be selected for civil services?
So I think I am a very passionate individual who wants to contribute to the society. And secondly, sir, the idea of joining the services came into my mind because of the impact that civil service can create. And I think I am the person who has certain abilities like the patience I have, the perseverance, and the dedication towards my goals. So that will certainly help me to join the services and to be a good administrator.
What is the difference between a civil servant and a bureaucrat?
Sir, civil servant, I'm not very sure of it, but if I'm not wrong, sir, I think civil servant works on various capacities. He's serving to the people via joining various services. However, sir, a bureaucrat is a person who works on a office and make policies. So that is the role of bureaucrat.
Supposingly, you are the secretary of Department of Industry, and your minister, your boss minister, he comes and he orally orders you to do a thing which, as a secretary, you think it's not legal. Then how you will tackle this situation?
I would politely but firmly refuse to follow the orders of minister, because I think that would be quite unethical on my part, because as a person of that caliber, being a secretary of a ministry, it is quite unjust to the people and the larger country. So I won't do the work. If someone insists, sir, I will take written recommendations and a written request that as per your orders I am doing this work. That would be.
So now case number 3. Case number 1, you are insisting. Case number 2, you ask for the return. So that chapter is again neither he's not giving you a return, and he's again and again he's insisting. Now how you will handle?
So I won't do the work, sir, if it is not under the parlance of the law.
And case number 4, now if he started misbehaving with you.
So if that is the case, I will approach to the higher authorities or the mechanism which is there under the protocols and the legal framework. So I will do that, sir.
Thank you. Your interview is over.
Thank you very much.
Relax.